Hey, good morning everybody. Welcome back to another video. My name is Jan Kilstra. Dad went and picked up our canola seed this morning, which is 63 bags of canola seed. And this week, hopefully over the next couple of days, we're gonna be getting that into the ground. The drill, it's parked at the yard here. And that is because we've been getting tons of rain over the last couple of days. You can see the yard, it's a bit of a mess. And that is just the result of the rain, of course. I think we've had more rain the first couple of weeks of spring than we did all last summer. So we're off to a good start. Really excited about that stuff right there. We're putting 610 acres in this year, and it is by far the most expensive crop that we put in the ground. And it has the biggest upside potential as well. Anyway, this drill should get out the field tomorrow. The sprayer's behind that. Dad's been doing the pre-burn on everything that's been going in. We got 2 quarters of peas in the ground already. They're rolled and they've been getting rain, so it is safe to say that this is as optimistic we've been for the last 5 years in terms of what our crops can do. Haven't seen this much moisture in a long time. Just walked to the sand room to grab our skid steer. We had some stuff to do in the barn this morning with the ladies. They're still locked up, but we can let them go now. We had the classifier out yesterday and we had 2 cows go excellent. One was our prefix and one was another prefix, so still exciting. I think that's the first time we've ever had 2 cows go excellent in one classifying round, so that's exciting. This is of course the lovely part about getting all that rain. The yard don't like it too much. We'll take it though. You guys aren't gonna hear me complain about the rain too much. So this is it. That's all the seed you need for 610 acres, hopefully, if it all goes in at the right rate. 1 bag will do 10 acres. There is 63 bags here, I believe. Anyway, we got it on the ground. It's here. This is obscenely expensive stuff. I won't say the exact number, but it's in the tens of thousands. So got some other crop input stuff here as well. Some chemicals, Bactrolem. Dad's gonna be spraying this on the fall rye this afternoon. This is gonna take some weeds out of there. We're not gonna be spraying all the fall rye, just some fields that are not quite far ahead. And they're not canopying over yet, so weeds are gonna start poking through. And we got a bunch of other stuff as well, so it's getting there. Dad's just verifying what fertilizer is what in the 2 bins over there. I believe we got that in February or March. It's been sitting there waiting. This is cool, hey? Look at all this water. Great start to the year. It's the afternoon, Dad's about to go spray, and I'm gonna fill one of our trucks with fertilizer. We're gonna fill the Freightliner with the canola for tomorrow. Gotta grab the yellow auger, get it underneath that fertilizer bin, and we'll try aim for about 15 tons in the truck. Okay, we're ready to start loading. Got the auger nicely lined up. Make sure the bolts are in the box of the truck here, because this is a silage truck, so we'll just put those in just in case someone hits the wrong switch and opens this one. It's full of grain or fertilizer, a little safety. And then we also put a screen on top of the auger here, and that's just in case there's any lumps in the fertilizer, which I'm sure we're gonna see a few. We just want those to roll off the back. If that goes through the drill, it'll potentially plug a few runs or a tower even, so you just want to make sure you got no lumps in the seed or the fertilizer. it didn't want to flow. We had to open this door here, poke it a bit, and now that it's going, it should be flowing good. So we just did one pile in the middle, and that's what we usually do. If you can see it over the edge coming up here, it's probably full. Weighted on the scale, this is about 14.2 tons. So should be no problem for the truck, and should be enough for one load for the drill. We're out in the fall rye field. Dad's got the sprayer here, and he's just spraying for some weeds. A couple of interesting things to note. We do two different varieties. We do one common variety of fall rye. That's just stuff that's been combined and seed cleaned year over year over year. Like 20 years maybe this strand has been going, maybe even longer. And that's what we call the common. The other type that we do, the other variety, is called a hybrid variety. And that's like your GMO modified in some lab somewhere. And we can see there's a solid line here where the two varieties intersect in this field. So the stuff on the right here is our common variety, and the stuff on the left is the hybrid variety. So if you notice, the common variety is just a lot further ahead than the hybrid variety. A lot of the time, these hybrids are made in warmer climates, and that means for us up here in Saskatchewan, where it gets super cold, it's not maybe as hardy as it should be. And for some reason, even where it didn't winter kill, the plants are just a lot shorter. Yeah, there's some pretty stark lines up here. You can just see how full and like lush and healthy this common variety looks. And then if we go over just a little bit here to the hybrid variety, it's a pretty big difference. The reason why we grow this hybrid variety though is because it does yield more grain, and it kind of has to. This stuff is, I believe it was $60 or $80 an acre for seed, pretty expensive. And then this stuff is, you know, I don't know, a couple bushels per acre. A bushel is $8 when it's seed. Maybe it's $10 now, but it's a lot cheaper. So this stuff does need to yield more. We've done trials, we've tested it out in the past, and this stuff has outperformed the common variety, which really surprises you if you take a look now. But that is the way it is. This stuff is just more optimized for growing grain than this older variety. But tough to believe it. Anyway, that means that this stuff does not need to be sprayed for weeds. We have, I believe, 300 acres of this closer to the farm. And then this stuff does need to be sprayed for weeds, and that's just because it hasn't fully canopied over. This stuff is so far ahead this spring that now if a weed starts to grow in between the rows here, it's not really going to have a chance to get that much sunlight, and it's just not going to get ahead of this rye. Whereas the hybrid variety, if a weed grows in between one of the rows right now, it's going to get a lot of sunlight and it's going to take off. So that's another advantage that the common stuff has over the hybrid. Something you wouldn't think about when you're comparing costs, when you're looking at it on paper, but an extra pass over this hybrid variety does add a few bucks per acre. You got to run over it with the sprayer one more time. It's just all adds cost. This is another rye field, the common variety, and it's just looking so insane already. This is probably, if you pulled the leaf up, at least 8 inches, maybe getting close to 10 already, and just so lush and full. Haven't had a rye crop like this yet, and if you go digging in here, it's just full of moisture. This stuff couldn't have had a better start. We're pretty excited for this year. Fall rye, it's definitely not the most valuable crop for forage or grain, but right now, if the tap was shut off, if we didn't get any more rain, we'd still get a pretty decent amount of forage off of these fall rye acres, and that's why we've been growing it. It's just a hedge against the drought that we've been having. We're now in another field, and this is already seeded, so we've got 320 acres, 2/4 of peas already in the ground. It's rolled, and I believe this went in already a week ago. That's what I missed while I was hauling liquid manure. This stuff going in the ground, so we'll see if we can find any sprouts coming up. It's shooting down already. A couple more days she'll start going up, and maybe another week we'll start seeing them peek through. Back in the freestall barn, we got a bit of repair work that we got to do. This morning we were sorting cows for the dry group, which is on the other side of the barn. 12 cows over there. I was chasing one lady down this alley, and she started booking it, and for whatever reason she absolutely smoked 2 of the loops and broke the brackets that hold the loops on the inside there. So we'll get some of these ladies up for us and we'll take a look. Yeah, right there you can see that snapped loose, and the same right over there. She just clipped him on the side while she was running past, and that did it. So luckily though, this is a bit of a test. There's some rubber inserts on these beds. They were installed just to see how we liked them kind of a few years back, and we still have the original brackets that are non-flexing. We'll just put those back in. It's got to be this hole. The bracket starts down there, goes up here, and hooks into the loops on the 2. I guess they're called bio rails. Otherwise these will be on the ground one morning. Don't need to wait that long. So those brand new brackets are just outside the barn here. Literally right there. Just another thing I noticed, these beds here have the floating neck rail, and that's just a neck rail that can kind of go up and down with the cows as they get up. I definitely think now that's an overrated feature for these loops and freestalls in general. It just puts a lot more pressure on the joints that are holding the loop. If we go over to where there's no floating neck rail, you can see why pretty easily. And that's because the neck rail acts as a third support point for these loops. Gives it some lateral support, and that is super important, especially when cows are hitting the loop sideways like that. So if a cow would have hit it here really hard, this neck rail would have stopped it from going sideways and would have kept a lot of pressure off of those joints right there. So I've always said it, standard beds, no curved neck rail, no floating neck rail, no flexible stuff in there. If they're set right and they have the right dimensions and everything, your cows will be completely fine, as comfortable as ever. The only thing that really matters is the bedding at the bottom, like how soft that is. And that can be achieved with mattresses, water beds, sand, straw, recycled manure solids, literally everything. And of course I leave this area for 2 seconds. Come on ladies, get out of here. And break it even more. So, hour and a half later, got her all fixed up. Funny enough, it's that lady right there that buggered him up. 1473. Oh, she knows what she did. You silly goose. It's our dry cow group. That's why they're pretty loud. Well, that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Tomorrow's video should be good. We're going to get the drill going in the field, seeding canola. So looking forward to that. See how moist the ground is when the seed goes in. And should be a good day tomorrow. Forecast is looking good. It's going to dry up a little bit, which is what we need now to get the seed in the ground. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.